Reading any good books this summer? Do you need some good books to read this summer? I got you. Let me tell you, book lover, this is what you need to read this summer for a fun time next to the pool or on the beach or just lounging on the patio, okay? So these are the books that have all the summer vibes, and if you haven't read them already, you definitely need to. Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune has all the vibes, but it was my least favorite Carly Fortune book, but it might be your favorite, and that's okay. We have Fern and we have Will. We have all the yearning, all the miscommunication, all the things you need this summer. So pick this one up. We also have, of course, to go along with our Carly Fortune, we have One Golden Summer. And One Golden Summer, if you've already read Every Summer After, it's the story of Charlie, and Charlie meets Alice, and Charlie is Sam's brother. And it's just the sweetest story about Charlie and Alice and her grandmother and Barry's Bay, and how things always kind of just work out regardless of the obstacles that you're going through. When you care for each other, you can overcome anything. So if you haven't picked this one up, definitely gives all the summer vibes, and I really enjoyed the story, and it just gives you this nostalgic feeling for summer, which I feel during the summer we're all kind of looking for, right? So pick up Charlie's story, you won't regret it. Many of you have already read Every Summer After, but if you haven't, this is your sign to pick it up. You're gonna love Percy, you're gonna love Sam, the way that their relationship, from being just friends to growing up and feeling different feelings towards each other, and how that kind of progresses over the years, is really nice. And we love Barry's Bay, and we love Charlie's relationship with Sam as a brother, and it's just a great read for the summer. And once you finish this, if you have more interest into the story, Every Year After is on Prime Video, and you can definitely take a peek at that. But this one I really enjoyed more than Meet Me at the Lake, and more than One Golden Summer. Some people really love One Golden Summer, but for me, this one just kind of hit a little bit different for me. And then, if you want one of those books that you're just going to be laughing and giggling and kicking and screaming, and everyone around you is just going to be like, what is wrong with this person? And they're not going to be able to resist coming up to you and asking you what you're reading. Trust me, I've done this several times. When I see people reading this book on the beach, I'm that person. If I see you reading something, I promise I'll only ask really quickly, what are you reading, and if you enjoy it, and if you have any other recommendations. The Honeymooners by Kristen Lauren. Oh my god, when I read this book for the first time, I was just laughing so hard. My husband and my kids were like, Mom, what's going on? And of course I couldn't tell them everything, because some of the funny stuff that was happening was not appropriate to share with their little ears. But The Honeymooners is, to me, the ultimate beach read, because the setting is on an island, and it's just got so much fun banter, and it's got sister friendships. It just has all the things for me. So pick up The Honeymooners if you haven't read it already. It's a must read for the summer. And of course, we also have an Abby Jimenez book, because she's also the queen of romance. We have Just for the Summer. And Just for the Summer has Emma, and then we also have, I always forget the guy's name. We have Emma and Justin. I'm terrible with names. Emma and Justin meet through some crazy circumstances when it comes to their faux pas in the dating world, and they just come up with an arrangement to, pretend date for the summer, and you get all the summer vibes, and you get to see a lot of the issues that each of them has, but they work through them together, and they figure out that there's more to life than just protecting your heart, that sometimes you have to put yourself out there. So Just for the Summer, if you haven't read it already, by Abby Jimenez, or if you've never read any Abby Jimenez books, I think this would be a really good book to start with. I personally really enjoyed it. And of course, we have to add Emily Henry to our list, because she's just the absolute best, right? We have Beach Read by Emily Henry, which I really enjoyed. I will say Beach Read takes place on a lake and not the ocean. So if you're looking for a beach pertaining to the ocean, this is a lake beach. So just, I know a lot of people get confused or disappointed. Of course, my male person's arriving right now. But yes, so just keep in mind this takes place on a lake, not next to the ocean, so I don't want you guys to get disappointed. But it's got really good banter. It's Augustus, Everett, and it has January Andrews, and if I'm not mistaken, filming has already begun for a show or a movie. I don't recall which one, either a show or a movie about beach read, which I'm sure we're gonna love. So pick this one up if you haven't already. And another Emily Henry book that I think it's just really good for the summer, that's fun and has lots of banter, is Book Lovers. And Book Lovers has Nora, and it also has Charlie, and they just have really good banter, which Emily Henry sometimes just, wow, she just does the best banter in her books, I believe. And then we have Love and Other Words. Now this one is set more of like in a cabin as well, similar to Carly Fortune's books. So it's not on the beach, but the story is really nostalgic and sweet between two friends that eventually turn into lovers, and there's so much miscommunication. It's fun, it's giggly. So if you want another summer read that's not set on the ocean or next to the ocean, definitely pick this one up. You're gonna love the characters. It's very witty and great. And if you want something fun about two meteorologists that fall in love with some funny banter and your FMC is just hilarious, pick up And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. You won't regret it. It's the second book in the Heartstrings series. The first was First Time Caller, and I believe she has another book coming out called Long Time Listener, which is going to be really good too, I'm sure. So pick this one up if you want something funny and different. And last but not least is The Summer of Broken Rules. So hear me out. The Summer of Broken Rules is a YA novel. If you're looking for something with more spice and more of like an older FMC and MMC, this is not the book for you. It's an 18-year-old. Her name is Meredith, and she lost her sister and she's dealing with a lot of grief. But every year her family goes to Martha's Vineyard for kind of like family reunion, and it takes us through her journey on trying to find her way back from the grief. So if you're looking for something like that, it has great family dynamics, it has friends, it has family drama during a wedding, which we know there's always drama when there's a wedding involved, right? So if you're looking for that kind of storyline, definitely pick up The Summer of Broken Rules. And I think I'm gonna have my daughter read this one this summer. My daughter's 15, and she always tells me to let her know what books I think she should read, and I think this one definitely classifies as a good book for her age group for the summer. So pick this one up if you haven't already. So those are our fun and, you know, giggly books that you can read this summer. But I also have some other books. If you're like me, I'm a bit of a moody reader, and sometimes I'm in the mood for light and fluffy and giggly and fun, but sometimes I want something a little bit deeper with more layers. And if that's you and you really just kind of don't want to deal with the happy-go-lucky fluff, or you're going through some things in your life that you're like, I need something a little different. If that's the case, then I have another stack of books here that I think would kind of fit that bill. So I have Deadly Romantics. It's still a romance, but it has darker themes such as grief, funeral home owners, and just kind of how to get through that grief and not lose yourself. But if you've read any other Ashley Poston books, you'll know that she does it in such a way that feels funny, and there's some magical elements into it, which makes it feel really whimsical. So if you want something with a bit more layers, a bit of heavier tones, this would be a good alternative to the other books that I previously mentioned. So it's a Dead Romantics, and it's about Florence and Ben, and I won't give away too much, but it has a good little twist at the end. Another book that is still a romance, but there's some kind of complicated obstacles that the FMC and the MMC have to get through. So you can see I really enjoyed this one. I tabbed this one quite a bit. It's Daddy Issues by Kate Goldbeck. Now, Daddy Issues, just the title itself leads you to understand that it's going to be about an FMC that's struggling and she's got some trauma with her father, which is the case, but not in the way that you think. So this one is really good if you're looking for something with a bit more trauma that involves more resolutions. Daddy Issues. And another similar book to the Dead Romantics that I have here is Promise Me Sunrise by Cara Bastone. Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone is a book that I picked up on a whim when I was at half price, and I was pleasantly surprised by how much I really enjoyed the story. It has themes of grief, it has themes of family dynamics, it has themes of what to do when you're losing yourself in grief and the people that are around you and how they really mold the way you come out of grief. Our FMC is Lenny, and Lenny meets Miles, and they didn't know it at the time, but the connection that they made is really, really nice. So this is another romance, essentially a romance book, but it also has themes of friendship, newfound family, and just a journey to restore your life after losing somebody. So this one is really good, but if you're not wanting to read about grief during the summer, don't pick this up. But if you're wanting a story with a happy ending with a little more complicated journey, this is a really good one. Promise Me Sunshine by Cara Bastone. Let's see. Some other books that I have here that are kind of like quick reads, but they kind of hold your attention. And if you haven't already picked up any books by this author, you should. It's Mitch Albom. Mitch Albom is the author of Tuesdays with Morrie, which was adapted into a movie with also grieving themes and the things that you can do to kind of come back on the other side. I have The Timekeeper by Mitch Albom. As you can see, it's really a quick read, but I find that his books are really thought-provoking books that you can read in 1 or 2 sittings. Read them on the airplane, read them on a road trip. You can also read them poolside. They're not very sad, which still keeps you in that kind of uplifted mood, but it gives you something deeper to think about and it resonates with you, and these stories definitely will stay with you. And I'm a huge fan of stories that stay with you after you read them, that you can come back to and really ponder what they mean. So that one was A Timekeeper. This one's For One More Day, which is a very good one as well. I don't have a physical copy of Tuesdays with Morrie. I lent it out, and I don't remember who I lent it out to, but it says Have a Little Faith, and he's got a ton of books published. The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, this one is really good. I think this is my second favorite next to Tuesdays with Morrie. But Mitch Albom is a really good writer, and all his books are very thought-provoking. So those are that. Of course, we have a classic, The Alchemist. If you haven't read The Alchemist already, I think everybody should read The Alchemist at least once in their life, by Paulo Coelho. I can never say his last name. Coelho. But The Alchemist, it's a beautiful journey, and it's also a very quick read, but it's jam-packed with things that really make you think about the world around you, how you react to things, the things in life that we want versus the things that we need. And if you haven't read The Alchemist, definitely give that one a try. Then I also have a bit of a darker one here. It's Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. There's a movie out right now on Netflix, which is Frankenstein, and the movie was excellent. I really enjoyed it. But if you really want to see kind of where the origin of the story came from, I highly recommend that you pick up Frankenstein. It's really not that gory, but it does have, of course, some darker themes about death and immortality, and you get a lot of anatomy references in the book. But it's a really enjoyable book if you're wanting something a little bit more thought-provoking with more gothic, darker themes. I really enjoyed this one, and so did my daughter. Another one I have, if you're more into like post-apocalyptic sci-fi books, is Red Rising. If you want something that's action-packed and it really just gives you this feeling of coming together and, you know, being the little guy that comes out on top. Pick up Red Rising. This was an automatic 5-star for me. Just the way that Pierce Brown writes is just intoxicating, and his writing is so good. So if you haven't picked up Red Rising, why not pick it up this summer? I know I did, and I did not regret it at all. I haven't picked up the second. Well, I picked up the second book, but I haven't completed it. I kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit, just because I was kind of craving more summer scenery in my reading. So pick up Red Rising if you haven't already. Then I also have Theo of Golden. I just started this book, and so far I'm really enjoying it. It's another book. It's by Alan Levi, and look at that, it's such a simple to the point cover, but so far the story is really good. It's also got themes that really make you think, really go inside yourself and think and ponder things about life. So if you're looking for books that are more thought-provoking, I would definitely suggest those. And I left one out. If you're wanting books that are more on the side of fantasy, The Mortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare, or Chef's Kiss if you're wanting complex characters, magical elements, and themes. I'm actually doing a reread of The Mortal Instruments with my sister and my daughter right now. So if you haven't picked up Mortal Instruments and you're into fantasy and you love a love story, I will say that the first book, the first and second book, the characters are a lot younger, and I know for a lot of people it can be a bit of a struggle to kind of be in the mind of like a 15-year-old or really young people, because it can be a bit frustrating. But if you can push through the first and second book, the third book is really good. And then once you get into Clockwork Prince and Clockwork Princess, The Infernal Devices, that's when it really starts picking up and getting nice and juicy. So those are the books that you should definitely pick up this summer if you haven't already. Let me know what books you're reading and what books I should pick up, and I'll be happy to read those. So have an awesome one. My name is Yahaira with Yahaira'sCozyChapters, and I look forward to hearing from you guys. Have an awesome summer.